Hello. A little loud. We are getting started. We got a few work to be done. I made some announcements here. Going live right now. More announcements needs to be made. Let's do some minor updates here. Live notification says Ezra says hello. And then let's see, just a few things. Music is okay. I feel like it's a little loud, huh? Actually, it might be my headphone setting. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Feels better. We're getting situated here. A few things being tested. Test. Make sure my strawberries spawned in. We have Danimal live. We got archives. Danimal says, is it weird I'm here so early? I can leave and come back. No, it's okay. It is kind of weird, huh? But that means you can claim your first. Well, between archives and Danimal, I don't know who's going to claim first. Going live now. Twitch. Ooh, archives. Oh, another gift. Archives is like, I already have this. I don't need all these berries. Archives is just giving berries away. We need to really have a game mode that makes the collection meaningful. Perhaps I need to make a marketplace. Noxibo says in before the announcement. Wow, very quick, very quick. Lined up. Oh shoot, I forgot about something. I was supposed to include this in my title. Protonpass. Affiliate link. We're testing it out. You know, part of me is like, hey, if you're gonna spend money on my affiliate link anyways, might as well give that to me directly. But at the same time, we're win-win. You get 50% off, right? I added the new little banner thing on my About Me page. We got one of these now. I'm also testing the automatic chatbot trigger thing, which I've never used before. So we'll see. We'll see if it actually works. I'm officially sold out, everyone. Hey, Void claim first. Noxibo says, remind me in March. My Proton sub is yearly. Oh man, that sucks. I'm gonna ask. Well, I guess they're like, I don't wanna give you money if the person is already subscribed to you, or this person is already using the product. I guess that makes sense. So you do use Proton. It's legit. Okay. I mean, I did some research and confirmed that it was pretty legit, but I wasn't sure how well known it is because I don't use password protection or password management program. So I'm not very familiar. Void says, hi, Az. I'm on commute. See you in a few. All right. Bye, Void. Thanks. It's not at gift. Remember. Like I was just giving things away again. My bit rate seems 6,000. I mean, that doesn't seem too bad. But 50% is pretty big. Though I think the yearly is different deal. Let me check my email real quick. What the person said. So monthly is 50% off. For yearly subscription, let's see what they say. They said subscription. Just let me know. I am. You can also share. Yeah. They said something about yearly is different rate, but I guess not. I don't know. Whatever. Hey, Ball. Ads starting here in a bit because I just got started. But welcome, Incredible. Yes. First is claimed. You can see it on the screen right here. Look. Incredible. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started here. I don't know how far we're into this. I wanted to try something new with the mic setup. I kind of want to do the out of the screen mic and then have it point at me. And I want to try and see how that works out. Because technically, if I increase the gain, it should be okay. I know right now it's probably not good. Hello? Can you hear me? If I'm not like talking... Okay, so it's like this. How's the quality now? Like I don't have to speak out loud. Because I know it picks up a lot of the room noise if I keep it too far away. But I don't know. I feel like these mics should be pretty, let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, check, 1, 2. I mean, negative 20 gain is pretty good. Can be a little closer. A little closer. Okay. I know it sounds a little bit. Because I want to keep the mic out of the shot, if I can, from now on. But I know this sounds pretty solid, though. So it sounded fine out of the shot, right? Okay. It's not exactly a shotgun mic. So, all right. I need to draw like a string like this to see if it actually points to me. Maybe I can increase the gain. I'm surprised at how high it still goes in terms of decibel level. It's around 20, which is like ideal, I think. Might have to have a different snapshot here. Just a second. I'm gonna stay quiet. Okay, Denimal says, sounds okay, but not as much bass as it used to be when it's closer, which makes sense. It doesn't pick up as much chest voice. But that's okay. I'm not trying to be, NPR here. I just need it to sound clear, crisp, and in your ear. I know bass helps with it, but as long as it sounds good overall, I think I can deal with that. Let me know if the volume is too low, and I'll always increase it. I mean, I am kind of speaking up a little bit, which I don't want to do, but we'll see. McCurry says, what's happening? Why are you echoey? It's because the mic is far away. So it does pick up the room. I don't know where the echo is coming from, because right here, if this is actually directional, not as like... I mean, where would it be picking it up from? All the walls? But it's directional. The wall should be pretty minimal, I thought. And it's pointing down. Because the idea is like, okay, well, it's not pointing towards a wall. It will pick up the wall. And like, most of the reflection happens from the ceiling. I guess there's no guard. But then it's not pointing up. I mean, I have a little bit of... I need to move it because I changed my desk setup. So like, what is it? The foams that I had set up before. The foams I had set up before are a little bit off now. Because I made it so that the foams are directly to the sides because, I want to be efficient. And then one above and one up on the wall here. But now it's a little bit skewed. It's okay. It's okay. We can deal with this. Whatever. All right. Previously on Developer Ezra, we're finally combining the combat and our maps to make our roguelike version of the game. And then I believe we were able to come back out to the map once we achieve victory, which is great. Now, I'm going to make one more feature for the navigation, which is when I get to the FTL point, I should be able to escape. So I'm going to make a new action called FTL. Also seems like there's some bugs here. No, these are all warnings. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to come over here, look at our roadmap real quick. So today we're going to try to add more types of combats and events. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. More types of combats and events, which means naturally we might have more types of attacks and weapons. Not quite upgrades yet, because I really want that core gameplay to be challenging and fun. And once you figure it out, then there's a fun of upgrading your ship to have a better build. Like making a build is always fun. I don't know if making a build itself would be the gameplay, like the fun part of the gameplay, or if it's like additional gameplay. And my idea right now is that without even the upgrade, the first time playthrough of learning the game, having the challenge and going through would be fun. So in order for that to happen, I need one level where it's hard to pass. And then finally I get it moment happens and then you pass it. So that's my goal here. Probably add one more thing like the collapsing star effect, and then we'll do FTL action here. So today we're doing FTL action here. I suppose for better measurement, we'll make a column left, start date, and today. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I will be able to stream the rest of the week. So in America, we have something called a jury duty. So I was called for jury duty, and it starts tomorrow. And ideally, it's for a single court case, and you know, I'm serving as a jury. Ideally, it just is a simple case and it's done once once the day is over. But if it lasts longer, I'm supposed to like stick around until the rest of the case is dismissed. Which means it can go every day until the ruling is out. So it's my first jury duty, so we'll see how it goes. McCory says, from developer Ezra to developer Oz. What? And Corbell says, I recommend just putting curtains everywhere. I mean, I should. It's just decoratively, it's not as good. I have a drapery, which I can use. And Corbell says that. What did the ball do? Denmal says, don't worry, they'll throw you $20 for your trouble. I know, so much. They said $25 a day, actually. Wow. I mean, I'm guessing it doesn't take all day. But yeah, tomorrow I gotta get out at 8:30 a.m. Hopefully, yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy times. All right. I'm going to check in 30 minutes to see if my automatic chatbot actually triggers every 30 minutes. I've never used it. Oh, I forgot to read YouTube chat. Sorry, Noxibo and Magic. Hello, Magic Fubar. Noxibo says, I do. It's for VPN reason, but the free cloud storage and such is nice too. Free as in included with the sub. I see. Magic Fubar says, hi, everyone. Hi, Magic. Noxibo says, Jay, usually they have it above. Sounds like you're about 3 feet further away, but it's clear enough to understand. Would just say don't go even further. Yeah, it's echoing off the glasses. For real. Yeah, that's why I put the blinds down. Noxibo says, I'm jealous that you even have enough space to care about such things as where to put your soundproofing. It's a small room. I think like it matters more that it's small, because the bounces are more aggressive. If my room was big, because I think a lot of like not soundproofing, but like echo treating, sound treating, I guess that's more accurate, is all about making it feel like there's space. So, I mean, that's absorption, dispersing, all part of that. Noxibus is going to be playing something that is very iffy about alt-tabbing, so I'll be quieter than usual. Oh, okay. All right, Noxibo. Dermal says, don't worry, they'll through it. No, I already read that. Okay, cool. I think I caught up here. Cool. All right, the first thing Adding action for my game, I think, is fairly easy now because I made this thing called combat action, right? Which is a node. And all you have to do, ooh, which reminds me, I wanted to add one more system, which was decision tree solution for AI. And I want to include this into my Ezra's base package. Because decision tree, I think, just like state machine, is well used in game development. So that's something I want to do. Next one says, are you dropping frames? I'm getting interruptions every minute or so. Potentially. Let me see. I mean, I'm moving a little delayed. That's it. Camera's a little delayed. I mean, I think... Okay. So camera's a little delayed, which means my voice probably comes out pretty delayed, right? Unless, hold on, I can change it so that there is a built-in delay on the audio. Let's see, 150 seconds or 150 millisecond. Would that do? I'm gonna set 150 millisecond on the audio delay, so it syncs up nicely. I think that's about 150. Okay, test. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and you guys tell me if my voice comes faster or slower than the video. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're getting loading indicator, I think that might be you. It says I have excellent connection. I think on my side, it seems like its connection is okay. Bitrate is pretty consistent. I mean, it's lowered a little bit, but it's... We'll see. I mean, I guess I can monitor myself. Denmal says, I don't know if it's much different in your area, but I've been to jury duty 3 times. Each time they sit a bunch of us in a room and you wait there for like 8 hours in case court needs a jury. They don't have me there for just one, but to available for any that day. I have yet to actually be part of a jury usually. I just sit there for 8 hours and go home. I see. Huh. Well, if that's the case, I don't know. 8 hours is a lot too. Am I allowed to bring my like device? Can I play a game, or like am I supposed to just like... Also, is there a dress code? I guess I should probably look that up. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hasi says, hello, I think the voice faster than the video, but only a little bit. Okay, voice is still faster than the video slightly. Go to property again. That means I gotta delay the voice a little bit again. I'm gonna 20 millisecond now. 220 millisecond. All right. Okay, here we go. Hasi, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I still delayed? Hey, welcome. Thanks for the follow, Freddy Confetti. We're getting there. We're trying to get our audio set up a little bit, but we know what we're gonna do today. Anyways, while Hasi figures out if my voice is delayed or not, I'm gonna create a new action right here. It's regular node, and then we're gonna call this a FTL action, right? And then we're gonna attach a script, as we do. And then this one is going to be called combat action, I think. Combat action. Yes, I created that earlier. And FTL action is under combat action. Create a node here. Doesn't need all those things, but I do need all the functions. So I'm going to just copy and paste these abstract functions that are not so abstract in this case, but we'll make it abstract. No worries here. Let's see. Freddy Confetti says, looks perfectly synced to me. Great. Thanks for letting me know. Asi says, it is better now. Great. Denmal says, going to be lurking today. Got lots of work to do. Have fun coding. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the lurk. You know, did you hear about the... I'm sure you guys already felt the effect of Amazon AWS server going down overnight. Or something like that, the East server. Well, I don't know. I asked my friend what the problem is, but he hasn't been impacted himself. Apparently, his adjacent team got infected. I was like, yeah, please go look at the ticket and let me know what's going on. But I guess the news might be already ahead of it, but I want to hear it directly from the source. The connectivity issue. A lot of speculation out there. It was I know for a fact that the issue was something to do with the access to their DynamoDB was timing out or something like that, which is like a lot of the systems depend on. So I don't know. Interesting. Anyways, FTL action. So first thing first, I'm going to say FTL action is only available from the navigation, obviously, I would think. Though, how cool would it be if you need to, like, prime engine? So, like, in order for you to FTL, you have to... Like, either you have to have extra power in the supply, so you have to turn things off, which is an interesting mechanic, or you have to go to different stations and prep for FTL. So like I would say in order to FTL jump, you have to go to the engineering bay. I think that's what we were calling it. Hold on, let me see what we were calling this actually. I want to see it real quick. So if we go here, yeah, right here. Oh, we don't have an engineering bay. I think maybe power supply could be it. So we'll say the power supply needs to prep. So maybe, ooh, I like that. I like having the two-factor action. So it's like, oh, you're not done. You have to like do this thing. And you may die while doing that. So you need that extra turn. I'm going to do that. Noxybus says, looky, auto message works. Yay, great. Auto message works. Get 50% off on protonpass, password manager, and give me money. And you get money. I'm so good at this, guys. Anyways, we'll see. I'm supposed to, I'm not supposed to, but apparently like it's also standard practice to put the sponsor or affiliate banner on the stream itself, but I don't want to do that because if I do that, I think I have to like mark my stream as something like product placement or something. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna do FTL action is actually flying, which is when the station crew actually has to be in the station info panel, station type, I believe. I'm going to copy this actually because this is the station checker. So we'll say boop. So it'll be like, hey, is the station navigation? Oops, what the heck? How did that happen? Control, we're calling control. It's okay. So FTL action shows up. On navigation, FTL. Maybe we don't call it FTL. Maybe we call it warp jump. I mean, it is. I don't know. Yeah, warp jump here. FTL here. We need to prep FTL, meaning it won't be available. Disable until power station prepares for FTL. Though I guess what stops you from preparing in the beginning, like instead of doing it right before, I suppose. Noxybus says, nice background. Thanks. It's just Chillhop. I use a little streaming service. Hey, Cooley. Long time no see. Is it too complicated? In order to FTL, you have to prep. How about you have to turn off all the power first for that extra supply? Would that be crazy? I mean, that gives a reason to be like, oh yeah, that's why you arrive into the next event with no power supply. So you actually have to like prep, which can be kind of annoying, but that gives an opportunity for like upgrading and planning, maybe. We'll see. When we execute, I suppose we change the game state to escape, which is FTL right here. So we can transition to FTL state and then handle what that means later. So we'll just simply go combat state, or signal bus probably. Signal bus and phase, emit that, which means we're transitioning to the FTL phase. Yeah, Cooley. Or Freddy Confetti. First has been claimed. Yeah, if you claim first, you get a little finger here. You see the finger that Void has? Well, you don't even have a berry yet, right? You got to get a berry. In order to get a berry, you go to the claim and you claim the plant berry folk seed, which gives you a little plant. And then when you water it 9 times, you get 1 berry, and those berries are pulled from one of these pools. And you can plant and water them over and over again to collect different types of berries. Yeah, you gotta plant first before watering. I was like, wait, what's going on? There you go. You gotta... Hey, you got a Barry Allen. Look at you zipping around. There are some commands here. There you go. Okay. Execute. We change the state. Okay, so what happens when the state changes? Oh, right. Not only that, we need to make it so that this is only enabled if you're on FTL. So I would say the enabling may be a state variable. And it's a state variable that is specific to the combat. So I think I can afford to say like var is FTL allowed, right? And then when the grid handler sees that the player moves onto an FTL, so on piece position changed, or not this one, one of these. Grid selection requested. Yeah, one of these here. Handle player ship damage. Not that one. Over here, collision damage. Position changed. So when the piece moves, and then the piece happens to be colliding on impact, plays the on impact effect, and then I think come out of here, remove piece from the grid as separate one. I just gotta figure out where this is. Got pieces in group, out of bound, has collision. The moving piece is missile. Okay, that's not it. Where did I move all these? Handle collision damage, maybe? It's a handling proximity effect. Hello? I do not remember how I did this. I mean, I cleaned this up by making it shorter, but now I'm confused. Hold on. Has collision, yes. It'll include it because it's not neither a cursor or overlay. Piece on impact will play. On impact is just calculating damage. And then it calculates damage by saying, hey, blah, 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 blah. I guess it might be a separate trigger where I have to go, I guess, I suppose it's a handle collision damage, technically. Because if the target is an FTL group, we do return it, but I suppose we also want to say combat state FTL allowed would equal to if the source is in group called player. So if the player's piece arrives on FTL point, then we allow it. Yeah. That would do it, I think. So we are changing the global state here. A little messy, but it's okay. And so over here, we would say, hey, if combat state is FTL allowed, if that's the case, then reasons, which will be array of string, will include a reason that says if it's not allowed, player ship must be is not on FTL points, like so. Right. So I think now we have an option to FTL. Hopefully that just kind of works. Noxybus says, just for shiggles, oh, shits and giggles, could you flip your mic to see how well it picks up your keyboard sound? I think you could pull that off too. Programming ASMR stream. Like flip it down like this, but it's in my face. I mean, if we do it like this, maybe. It's not, I mean, if I do it like this, maybe. Less echo, right? I mean, it feels like I'm not directly talking to it, but you could always get it to be really, really loud. It does pick up my keyboard sound pretty well, actually, if I do one of these. Hold on. I got you. Let's do this in a more elegant way. So we do one of these. Increase the gain and then lower the overall volume. We may get a little bit more. We could even go lighter. Dangerous is a dangerous game that I'm playing. But I don't plan on screaming today or getting excited, so I think we should be okay. Let's see. And then beacon. Lower the music a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good here. Okay. You'll hear it. I think you will hear it now. Okay, we go here. So the idea is FTL is not available right now, but I can move around. Ooh, I mean, this may protect me. Okay, that did damage me. My navigation got damaged, but it's okay. We're here. Oof. Oh no, everybody died. Hold on, why did it not trigger game over there? Oh, interesting. Everybody died, but the game over didn't trigger. That seems like a bug. Or with a few bugs here, it seems. Okay, so we were checking. Typically, Wait. I suppose on damage handle. I'm not really sure. Because I thought I already made it so that the crew info container signals out some interesting stuff here. Like crew status changed. Action value changed. Crew info. Let's take a look at the panel itself, actually. It signals out nothing. Bus? Does it do anything with the bus? I guess not, huh? That's kind of interesting. Hasi says, oh, someone gave me a berry. Thank you, Archives. Yeah, Archives has been just donating berries left and right. Maybe the berries aren't so precious to Archives. Or it's just that kind-spirited type of action. Anyways. Okay, I gotta make sure I understand what's going on here. So, the crew status changed. Was the intended emitter for when crew's health changes. And then we do the game over check on crew status change, I think. Do we not? When we're updating available? No, we're not. All right, I'm going to backtrack and see where the game over thing happens. So defeat triggers phase defeat. Hey, thanks for the follow in, Just. Welcome. Cooley says, did you see Amazon went down today? Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I asked my friend what was going on, but he said he hasn't looked deeply into it, but his friend's team got affected. So he said he'll tell me later. But I think some news is out there. I mean, ultimately, the source was DynamoDB. US East DynamoDB was down for some reason, but though some reason wasn't identified yet, or it wasn't told to us what it was, it's recovering. It's recovering, but we don't know what. I wonder... It would be interesting to see how much information that the public gets versus what the truth is. It'll be really hard to keep it not leaked, but we'll see. I'm interested to see what the difference is. So we're emitting the defeat phase while the pieces status change. So this actually, we need to make sure this is crew wiped. Check happens somewhere else as well. It happens on the main phase. I think we also want to have it done on every action, right? I don't recognize that number. I'm getting an unknown call number. Hopefully it has nothing to do with my jury duty. They will leave a phone number, I'm sure, or voice message if it's important. And just says, did you do the artwork too? Well, for this part, yes. So I do have a friend slash teammate that we're working together with. Some of the pieces here, well, the portrait, he made it, but then the icons, I made them. I'm reusing it. So like, but I do my own pixel art myself for a lot of the projects, to a point where I have an asset pack on itch, if you're interested in that. Whoa. I just got bot checked. Can you believe that? That's kind of crazy. See, this one is mine. It's available for $1.45. I made a whole 5 sales, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one person actually paid more than it's worth. $2 tip. Oh, look at that. Sick. So it's like I sold 5, even though I only sold 4. Anyways, I do like pixel art. I like art in general, but... Alright, so we gotta check for crew dying on health change, I feel. I feel like that's like a pretty basic action. Or if we want to keep it consistent and make sure those interruptions don't happen out of order, maybe I could handle it on damage handle. So like instead of on piece status change, we could say handle collision damage. And if you look there, there's a handle playership damage, which is the part where the crew status changes. So once the crew status changes, before emitting power reserve change and all these other things on return, or after, I guess, all of this, we can check if the crew has been wiped and signal end phase. If it finds trouble. Combat state. Is crew wiped? Then we're going to say combat signal bus end phase emit defeat. So that will be fixed. So now we can test again, make sure, because once again, what we're focused on is getting that FTL action working. Let's see. Boom. Let me go to a new location. And then we can go over here. I just want to make sure I run away. Doop. I mean, it's kind of lame that you can just kind of run away pretty easily. Oh. I guess not. I thought I could just do it. My AI was slightly smarter than I thought it would be. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, there you go. There you go. Move over. And then I can now... Oh, FTL is not available. So that's interesting. Because I thought I made it so that when I move it to FTL point, it would enable the FTL allowed. It seems like it hasn't done that. Right here. I wonder if it's a matter of something else. I want to test if it even triggers. Oh, it doesn't even get here. The handle collision thing doesn't even happen. Let's see, ship. Let's look at the ships or combat pieces logic. On impact. It gets the target. Say, hey, get the damage target for this guy. On impact. I guess I do filter it out, which is right here. It does seem like it does filter it out. So I suppose this is where I need to allow it. Even though I'm not really moving it. So I guess I am filtering it up beforehand. Combat state, combat mech get pieces. Damage target is here. It'll be null because we filtered the FTL point out. So I would say in the process of filtering, I think cover. You know what? Maybe I could just. Now I have to do it separately. So I'll say right here. For element is a combat piece if it is FTL point, which will be right here. And then actually separate logic here. If the target is FTL point and then the source is you know what? Separate. I think it needs to be a separate function because I don't want to override. Because this one is supposed to be specifically for getting the damage target. So we don't want to like overlap that function, I think. So we say func check player on FTL. Right. And then it'll be like get tree, get first node in group, and then we're looking for player node, and that's going to be a combat piece, specifically ship piece, and then player ship will be that. And then the player piece, we're going to say, hey, combat state. If you look at the map info and get the pieces where the player ship is, and then for element in these, if element is a type as combat, or yeah, is in group called FTL point, then we break out of this and say, hey, look, combat state is FTL allowed equals true here, to a point where we just return here as well. So we'll run that when the combat piece, whenever combat piece is impacting and then colliding. I suppose even before doing the collision damage, that this is more of a check that happens on move, right? So we'll say grid handler on move, or position changed. On piece position changed. Does a movement, it does a proximity trigger, and after doing the proximity trigger, it also checks for FTL of the player. I suppose it should happen after everything has been destroyed, just in case FTL can be moved. On this one, we'll destroy things and return. Technically, you don't really need to return here, so we'll do that. All right, hopefully that'll trigger properly. Though this means we want to make sure we can flip it off if player moves out of it as well. All right. Noxibo says, I can't explain it, but keyboard sounds when you're trying to be productive yourself is really helpful in some way. No, I get it. Honestly, what I used to do to be productive is I used to type my thought out in rhythm with music, which makes me, which kind of forces me to type in a certain tempo or faster, even if my brain, like if my thought is not completely there yet, which in turn makes me think faster. I don't know if it makes sense. Ooh, okay, this one's broken. I'll debug that. Noxibo says, as someone that doesn't know any of that, does purchasing a pack like that come with the license to include it with my own project if I ever get to selling that? I mean, the assumption is that yes, that is the case. Only natural limitation, I mean, this is the limitation. You can sell it, you can package it in your game and sell the game. But what's a no-no in that sense is that taking that exact product and selling it as another asset pack. Does that make sense? You can't sell it with the same purpose. You can't package it and sell it in the same competing space, but you can sell it in other space. Does that? So you can't sell it as an asset, even if you modify it, but you can sell it as a game. That's typically the case. Noxibo says, you know, after all the you don't own the game you buy thing, I just can't really say I understand anymore. I mean, that's just modern companies. I don't believe in that. I think everybody should be able to own the games that they purchase fully. That's why I still buy discs if I can, but whole Steam situation is kind of tricky because, yeah, Steam is one of those places where if the company goes under, you don't have any of the games anymore. Noxiba says, that was a clear explanation. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad I was able to help. Let's see. Am I clipping by any chance? I know I've been speaking pretty loud, actually. I'm going to lower the gain real quick. I know the whole purpose was for you guys to be able to hear my keyboard click-clack, but I think I can still do that. If I lower my gate, the noise gate or the compression, I think that might pick up more, but I would like to keep the noise gate closed. This is, oh, it's breaking because I put a breakpoint on it. I was like, no, it's broken. No, it's not. Okay. All right, we're gonna go down, go right, wait. Wow, it's risking its own health to move towards me. FTL is available. Boom. Nice. Okay, so it became available. I executed it and it said, this is bad. Invalid access to the key and phase, which is interesting. Why? Why is this invalid when it's right there? And then we're doing combat state phase. Oh. Okay, combat action. We're going to do FTL action here again. Instead of doing it an instance version of the enum, we're going to do the static version of the enum. FTL. This one is not being used here. We'll see. And also, might as well implement what happens when FTL happens, right? We're going to say, when FTL happens, we're not going to show any screen. I guess we could say victory, or you've successfully escaped, or make some sound. And then immediately transition to the same thing as this, which is on digital button pressed, which will be immediately on transition will trigger the combat done of the navigation combat. So we'll be like, which means we'll probably, let's see. The only problem is that it's apparent. Do I signal out or do I control it directly? That's a real question. We could signal out. Let's say we'll have, I mean, it's technically game state, so we'll say signal combat close requested, and on trigger for this guy on ready, if we can find that. So combat signal bus, this one happens and I'll connect it on combat close requested. We'll go and close the combat. Combat done emit, which will close the combat and open the map. And that would be over here. Instead of combat done, we'll go combat signal, or what are we calling it? Signal bus. Combat close requested. All right, cool. Few things. I'm going to test that the FTL becomes disabled if I move away from the point. And then I'm going to test that I can actually... Oh, this is kind of rough. I'm going to have to... Oh, okay. Repair. Turn it back on. We'll launch a missile to trigger. Wait. Nice. All right, we'll just move up. Just clear the field. Clear the field. Naxiba says... No, okay, I already read that. Never mind. Sometimes when I turn around and some of the chats look new, so I end up reading it. Okay. Kelso says, what's up, Ezra? How's your game? It's coming together. Okay, so FTL is available. I'm going to try to move away and see if it goes away. Okay, it's now disabled again. Nice. Over here. New turn, and we'll FTL. Okay, so we did the FTL out. It says it's not... Oh. Oh, right. I forgot. So whenever I add a new action, I'm supposed to assign these things. There you go. But yeah, Kelso, it's coming together nicely. We're just adding a few features here because we have the map. We just implemented the auto-generated map, the star map thing, and then we made it so that the combat starts when you get into the area. Now I am trying to add a function of... it's chasing me. Kind of annoying. Function of running away when you get to the FTL point. So I'm trying to do that real quick. Testing that out. Okay. All right. I think I moved out, right? We started here. Now we're here. Okay. Nice. So now we can test a lot of things. I'm going to trigger the mine with my missile. Wait. Oh, shoot. I didn't realize it was going to wrap around. My power supply is in bad shape. I got to repair. Okay. Hindsight. I'm thinking now that the repair should require parts instead of free repair. So that you are looking for ways to hey, why is it not exploding? Huh, that's a bug. Okay. Cool. Kelso says, nice to know, Ezra. You're doing well. Yeah, doing well. We're getting it together. I have a few things I need to take care of, but, you know, all in all, I'll say we're in good spirits. Making our progress. But I would say for now, the FTL is taken care of. Let's see. Roadmap here. FTL is done. Wow, so it's just as scheduled. Hopefully not too much scope creep. But here we are. Decision tree solution is not something we want to focus on right now. Next thing, I want to make some more maps now. Different game. Hey, Blue Fox. Long time no see. Long time no see. Welcome. Everyone be chillin'. We be chillin' out here. Let's see. Da, da, da. We need to make more combats, I think. Blue Fox says, has Ezra made all of the Berry Folk animations and code? Yeah. All the Berry Folk. I mean, Blueberry Folk is made by one of the viewers. Can't remember. But I haven't used any of these in a while. There was like a submission form to pick and add some of these berries into the rotation. We added Blueberry Folk. Which reminds me, I haven't seen Null in a while. We'll resolve this. Resolving since added. It's interesting to see people go in and out, you know? I take some break. People are in a different stage. And then I lose favor of people. How do I resolve? How do I resolve? Delete post? Lock post? Close post? Is that it? No. Huh. I don't know how to do it. Do I just delete it? I mean, I want to... It's not a ticket system, huh? Hey, Brains App. Is that the only way? Interesting. All right. Well, anyways. So yeah, most of the Blueberry folks are created by me. Mr. Redactor, yeah. Celine says, oh gosh, I've been so busy. I really wish I could show up today, but assignments. No worries. Gotta get your assignment done. Anyways. Okay. Let's think about a few things. I said parts. Repair should be part dependent. Yes. So what I think is probably mechanical, if I know how to spell mechanical parts for repair. I think that'll probably, between adding it as a reward and requirement for fixing it, I'll say 2 day. We haven't started it yet. Let's make a collapsing star mode, which is the way I imagine collapsing star is that this one in particular, the certain type of combats will make it so that you have a time limit before you need to get out or finish the mission, or you basically start to take damage. Blue Fox Studio says, if I were to make some pixel art of Lemon Folk and then sent them to you, would you make a stream of coding it? Yeah, sure, why not? It doesn't take too much for me to add new Berry Folk, but yeah. Blue Folk says, and if so, I need a list of animations that Berry and Blue Folk can do. There's a template on Discord. So if you go to that forum specifically, the Berry Folk design submission, at the bottom there's a thing called Berry Folk template. This is what we're using. So there's a walk, sit, and then this is a kick animation, which does squat and kick. But, you know, you can change it if you want. You have Google Forms. It's okay. Basically, walk, sit, and kick. Those are the animations that all the Berry Folk has. Walk, sit, and kick. Oh, yes. I suppose I should do automatically timed message for Discord as well, huh? Hindsight. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, everyone, wish me luck for tomorrow. So my jury duty is silent. I didn't realize it was going to be 8 hours. We'll see. Hopefully not. Whew. Cooley says, good luck. Oh, ads starting in 1 minute. Lovely. All right. Let's add a new combat mode. Collapsing star. I'm not really sure. Gravity field? That would be interesting if there's a gravity field. Ooh, let's do that. So it makes it so that the tiles slowly fall out. Becomes unavailable. Ooh, that means I want to make a fragmenting animation maybe somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Because this grid is programmed. Ugh, whatever. Blue Fox is, wait, jury duty? Yeah, tomorrow I have a jury duty. And who knows if I'll be back. So, that's what it is. You know what? I'm not going to scope creep. I'm going to make sure that this is a timed one first. I'm going to go to combat configuration. That's just generator. I guess it's not really an objective, is it? These are generator. What happened? Oh. Generator map is nothing. Objective is objective. We don't have to worry about objective here. Let's make a new one. Let's call this combat configuration. I suppose. Weird Voice says, the order of Barry Thulu finds you guilty. Well, welcome back, Void. I guess your commute is finally done. Let's call this, I don't know, collapsing star. Collapsing star. I mean, collapsing star just is type of environment. So I suppose, do I need a separate series for the environmental effect? So I would say, hey, let's make a node for environmental effect so you can have combination of those things. Or should that be a configuration within the combat config? Like it's something that gets added directly to this that you can select from, like a check mark. I think that might be better. Well, yes. Yeah. Let's make the environmental... No, but then what if I want to configure the environmental effect separately? I mean... It's not terrible. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a folder here. New folder and say environment. And then we'll call this new node here, I guess. We've been doing ref counted for these generators or something like that. Combat generator has some abstract things. Okay, cool. I suppose environmental effects would technically be a node that gets triggered. Voids. Whoa, what is that? That's a new celebration. I never seen that before. Void got the 350 channel points for watch streak. Is that something that you volunteer to let the chat know? Or is that just me that I get to see it? 3 stream streak. Wow. Interesting. Anyways. So we got environmental effect. So first thing we're adding is just a script. And then it's going to be an abstract node called combat environment. And then we're going to call that abstract class called combat environment. And this one, for now, we're focusing on player main, meaning that's like this executes right before player's turn. Though I feel like environmental effects should happen first, so I'll say on AI main, I suppose. AI main. That does something. We're making it so that the combat state and the signal bus is available. Combat state will be combat state and combat signal bus is combat signal bus. I don't know if this has, yeah, they do have a class called that. Okay, cool. Okay, so on AI main is at the end of the player turn and beginning of AI's turn, something will happen, blah, 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 play the effect, etc., etc. Unexpected identifier. Oh, I guess I gotta do it like that. Can I do it like this? Nice, I can. All right, a little bit cleaner. And for this particular one, I want some configuration. Okay, cool. So I'll create a new scene of the variety node and call this collapsing star environment. And then we will attach a new script called that. Of course, extends combat environment. And because it's abstracted, it demands me to implement the function. We say this one doesn't return anything. Okay. Cool. And then before implementing this, what I want to do is maybe it doesn't have to be, the environment doesn't have to be part of the configuration. Standard combat config. I suppose I could attach. I mean, is it a separate probability? It could be. I must feel like that is a generated thing. Yes. Well, we'll see. Okay. So instead of trying to make a configuration specifically for collapsing star, which I'm going to delete then here, I will add this environmental effect when generating. So for example, when I'm creating the map, I think it should be generated on map. So when I'm generating, because some of these things needs to be auto-assigned. Of course, there's some other bugs here, which I think we obviously need to fix. Remove piece from, attempt to disconnect, and this connection doesn't exist. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I would say if is connected. Whatever. Blue Fox says, can't Lemon Folk have my style? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I don't know. Should that be a redeem? Because I feel like I don't want just like any non-committal whatever. I guess Blue Fox has been around that I can accept it. But I don't want to make a habit of it, you know what I mean? Lemon Folk redeem. Yeah. I'm saying like should I make it so that like there's like redeem or payment to make it to be included, because like I don't want anyone doing it, you know. Anyways, but yeah, for now we'll experiment. Just give it to me. Noxybus says, I'm having one of those days, struggling to even get an array going this night. Just can't focus. You know, sometimes it happens. You should enjoy your rest. Do, you know, whatever you need to. Play around, play a game, sleep, read book. I don't know, watch a movie. It's necessary part. It's a necessary part. Void says strawberry all the way. Well, I mean, technically we have blueberry. Blue Fox says, yes, plant a seed and you have to buy 18 waters. What, to get your own? Or are you saying just for specifically for lemon folk? Lemon folk should have a sour face. Okay. Anyways, so during the map generation, which is a pretty long part of the code, I think the POIs should be random. Minimum POI count, blah, 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 blah. When the POI gets generated, I think this probably is where the environmental effect gets decided. So I'm going to define that real quick. So POI info has all of these things where I said, hey, this is a type of the POI. Well, technically, it's a hazards. It's a path thing. So I'm not gonna separate that out too much. Or should I? I'm trying to decide. I think I'm gonna simplify it. I'm gonna put the hazards here. So we'll say export var environment, and I'm thinking instead of making an environmental array where you have to include it into, instead of including it, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe there could be multiple effect, which I guess there could be. Otherwise, we could just give it a flag, which could be simple, where we say, hey, is collapsing star, which by default can be false. And then we can provide on the generation, when we're generating the space map, give some probability here. So we'll say generation logic, category, generation configurations, and then collapsing star rate, which would be, I guess, like 10% of the time. For now, we can do 100% so we can test it. Noxybus says, only creative people can talk about collapsing stars and call it simple. Blue Fox says, for lemon folk, I can try that. Yeah, try it. Denimal says, all right, going to make dinner. Talk to you all later. Good luck with jury duty. Thank you, Denimal. I'll see you later. Bye. Have fun with dinner. All right. Oh, you get clear. Tell I'm tired. Maybe my juice is running low today. It's okay. We'll get some implementation done and call it. It'll be okay. What else? Stretch. I do need to use the restroom, I think. But before that, let me just do this generation real quick. So, we could have environment helper that handles. No, we don't need to do that. So it'll go up. Map line, POI resource. When we're instantiating the POI, okay, that's right. When we're doing this, we could go environment type generation and go var or if randf is less than equal to the percentage of the configuration. So we say collapsing star rate in this case. If this triggers, we'll say POI displays info. Oops. Is collapsing star will become true. I mean, alternatively, I could have just done this, but I think this is just more readable. So we're going to have some collapsing stars here, 100%. That means when we select, voice is going to get something to eat, AFK. Yeah, no problem. Have a good time eating. Ooh, I'm hungry too. I think I had a pretty light breakfast. Maybe it's the workout I did. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so the information is populated when map is generated. Now the important part is inserting the environment when combat starts based on the info. So on destination selected here, right? So we have, hey, destination is POI resource. And it's going to have some information like is collapsing star. If this is true, we got to make sure we include that as part of the combat configuration. So the combat configuration, which is takes in the standard combat here. After initialize, oh, cancel. After initializing it, var combat config, combat config. Hopefully we can assign that. No, we can't. So we'll go insert environment here. So configuration is generating the map, but I think we also can have objectives. So we'll say func add environment, which will be some sort of environmental thing. So we'll say environment, which will be combat environment. And simply, I'll just keep track of it. Environment as an array here real quick. And then we'll set that up here. On ready, it's doing all of those things. Different thing. For me, I think when I'm generating the map, I suppose I could just kind of. So this is the preparation. Can I just add it as a child, even though it's not ready yet? I wonder if this is going to break this. I want to see. So for this, we'll just go add child environment. See what happens there. Wait, why is it yellow? Why is it warning me? The local function parameter environment. Oh, okay. Gotta do combat environment instead. Environment is an already existing function. Yeah. Oh. Hold on. It's because of this. There you go. Okay. Voice says, you must eat. I wish I could. Noxibo says, oh, snap. Took me this long to remember you can just control click on something to get to the docs page. Yeah. It also takes you to the definition. So if it's your custom code, if you do control, it just takes you to the source of that code, basically, or source of that variable, source of that function. Yeah, hold control and click. Shortcut. Lifesaver, I would say. Yeah. Okay, we'll say add environment, and then we'll just go, okay, well, if this is the case, we'll just simply add this scene, actually. Unfortunately, I'll have to instantiate it instead of just taking a instance of it. Well, I'll just create a new instance here. So we'll say var on ready, var combat environment will be a packed scene. May not be the best way to do it, but it's a way to do it. So, ooh. Instead of this, I might have to just do one of these. Collapsing star inv. Let's do that. Then we can just instantiate that. Unless it has some sort of configuration. And when we're starting a combat, we are going to initialize a combat. Oxibo says typo. Typo? And then you find out it was just a type all along. Typo. Thanks for being here so I don't have to suffer my own stupidity and silence. Oh, yeah, no problem. I am your rubber duck in some sense. Okay, so we got the combat config, which has all the stuff. We're already adding the config as a child here. So it's going to be ready, and I'm not going to like remove it or anything. So combat config already will have environment as part of the children. So what I think I can do on combat itself, when the combat is running, or when the combat is being initialized, we can pass some information in. So we'll say, hey, okay, we're adding it. It's being ready. Things are being prepped. Environment, combat environment prep, which will be, hey, for env in combat config dot environment. We're going to pass. Well, we don't have to pass anything, do we? Because we just need to do on something. So combat config comes through. We're adding a child. I guess we don't really need to add this to anything, do we? Well, what else are we? How are we using this? Generate a map, objectives, and we do initialize object. Okay, so we just need to do the whole like combat state dot environments, which will equal to combat config environment, like so, right? And on combat state initialize, so we have var environment, which will be an array of combat environment. It's a little bit messy, I'm gonna admit to that, but because the problem is right now the environments are going to be nodes, so when we're initializing it, if I remove it, well, I'm assuming that the config holds all these information. So like freeing the memory would be the config's job. So I can just kind of empty this out. And then the config being freed would allow me to, right? Fig. Does it ever get freed? We're adding it as a child. Hold on, does it forever gets added? Like the combat config forever stacks up? I think it might be actually. Huh, we never remove it. Interesting. Whatever config we already have, we never remove it. It just kind of stays. This would make it forever grow. Latin Oreo says, oh, glory to the rubber duck. All hail the rubber duck. We are the rubber duck. I am the rubber duck. Specifically, we're berry folk rubber duck. So we're strawberry flavored. Any case, finding this out is kind of stressful. Let me see if I'm actually taking care of that memory management at all. So we're hiding this space map. We open it up, pick random destination is collapsing star, blah, blah, blah. We grab the combat config. Yep. It seems like we never free it. Interesting. All right. Well, huh. Very cool. I got it. So what we're going to do here instead, I'm going to probably keep track with active combat config, which will be a combat config. And on reset game state, which excuse me. Basically, whenever we're about to start a new game or new combat, or should that happen on exit? Maybe it should happen on exit. So when the combat is done, or on start of the game, I guess both. So first we'll do if this is active, then we're gonna queue free this and everything in it, obviously. And then do the same thing on the start of the game, right? Space map gets reset, combat gets... Yep. Oh no, this is a starting of the game, so that's fine. And then I suppose that should do it actually. And then here, instead of doing this, we could just go boop, active combat config is this thing. We assign a new one. I guess I'll do that here too. It's like, oh, hey, like if it happens to be already populated, then free it. We do one of these things. Boom. Simple enough. Defire says protonpass. Sorry, it's an ad. But I have to do something. I know. Sorry that's your first impression of me. But trust me, I am more than the ad. We're working on Dread on Arrival. How about this? This is probably better. Our spacefaring adventure game. We've been working on this for a little bit. C4 says, sorry, Hiki. No, don't be sorry. Advertise. Advertise away. And we have Discord here. Boop, boop. Spacefaring adventure, ship, putting ship together, kind of FTL, Darkest Dungeon-esque, narrative portion, exploration, kind of tactics-like. So we decided to make this, so we got this done, and then we made this part done. So we have a map generation and a combat, and we're putting them together. We're trying to get to a playtest state. So far, so good, I think. Something is broken, though. So it seems like. So it looks like this right now. This is auto-generated. And I go here. It starts. Ooh. Saying invalid assignment. Property or key environments. That doesn't exist, apparently. It's just environment. Plural of environment is environment, I think. Am I crazy? Is it environments? Noxiba says, shameless plug for asset pack. Exactly. All right, everyone. Just give me money. That's all I care about. So this is what it looks like right now. You choose your crew. You can change their station. Each station have their actions, some objectives here. It kind of looks like Into the Breach a little bit, I suppose. I need to redo the difficulty of this level. This is kind of difficult. But yeah. Oh, no. Okay, repair that. And turn. Let's see. We got to power this on. Go to the missile. Launch that in. Nice. Move up. It does seem like most of the crew is like it's really tempting to put all my crews into a single station for multiple action. And there's really no downside to it except dying altogether. Kelso says you should use more shader, Ezra. I will. I feel like that's like the kind of like the polished state, no? Because I mean, I would like to, and it would be nice, but right now I'm really focusing on the gameplay, so I don't know. I do want to. How about this? Give me a list of awesome shaders that you guys like to use. How about that? A quick shaders for nice effects. Probably noise dissipate is a good one. Like a dissolve, I probably would think. Yeah. I'm going to outsource it. And I'll credit you guys. I'll be like, the viewers of Developer Ezra Twitch channel. Thanks for... Kelso says, like a booster, you know? Or a gun shoot. Yeah. I guess I understand what you mean. I just don't know how I would do that just off the top of my head at the moment. So I'll take any inspiration. It says, remove piece cannot happen. Why? Remove piece from the grid. I think we are adding... Yeah, this should be okay. This just means that the piece doesn't exist in the battle grid, so I suppose that's an okay error. Doesn't kill me. This one says remove piece -1. Oh, the find resulted in -1. Interesting. There you go. How about that? All right. So continuing on. We did all that. So basically on combat state, when we're entering AI main, before we execute AI main, we definitely want to await on Well, I wonder if the await will work. It might work. So if I say await game state, well, this is already a state. So we'll say environment for all of them. Call env combat env on AI main, pass the state and signal bus. But I can't await on all of them because await is for the all. So I think what actually needs to happen is probably await on the on main, I would think. But that's going to make it so that this executes in parallel to this, which is kind of ugly. So I suppose I should probably unravel this. So for env in environment, so there's no like parallel issue. Let's say we do one of these things. But that means we're going to create this to do that. So instead, we'll wait on environment action finished signal, and then basically await on that instead. So we don't have to connect it. All I need to do is just await on that. So main itself just executes in parallel. It doesn't matter. Suppose this is already an environment, so we can just say action finished. For now. Boom. Kelso says, keep going, Ezra. See you tomorrow. All right, bye, Kelso. Have fun. I'll see you later. Okay. Now that that's triggered, we can use this code to implement some stuff. Oh, thanks for the hydrate. I'll get some water. I also will use the restroom real quick. You know what? Restroom break, which means I can quickly insert ads. Don't go anywhere. I'll be real quick. I'll get water and a restroom break. Run. Do I have to run 3 minutes? Whatever. Run ads. All right. I'm going to mute myself because not everybody's on ads. Yes, 4.5. What's going on? Noxipo says, awesome. Good on you for remembering to do that. Remembering to go to the bathroom. Daniel says 4.5? Yes. 4.5, Godot 4.5, indeed. I really love the abstract classes and abstract functions. As someone who always develops plugins and general solutions, abstract is godsend. Much needed. Unseen Shooter says, sup, bruh? Hey, Unseen. Welcome. Okay. Let's think about this. Unseen is like, what are we working on today? We are trying to finalize our roguelike version of the game. So we have the start map system that automatically generates. I can click on these locations and move, and it starts some sort of combat, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to add this environmental effect called Collapsing Star, which every turn basically pushes the player forward. Now, I have to think about what that looks like. I mean, for now, I can just make it so that the grid becomes unavailable, but at the same time, maybe play some interesting animation. I don't know how I'm going to do that, though. What would the tiles look like if there's some spread of damage field that's coming through? Sing says, you're making your own game? Yeah. Noxiba says, for running games, or running ads. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. I mean, that's the kind of main thing. It's like, I don't know what that should look like. Fiery abyss, a gravitational effect. Unseen says, W. Yes. I mean, this is what we have so far. Okay. I think what I can do is, starting from x equals 0, it'll start to consume some of these things in this like circular manner, maybe. It would be cool to have like this wave of energy kind of spreading out. Let's take some inspiration. Supernova animation. I want to see it. I want to experience the supernova explosion. All right, everyone. A bright light. Okay. It appears that we might want to see it from afar. Okay. Ooh, I like this like wave of aura type, this burning gases. It's like almost like ocean-like feel. So I think we can take this like multicolored wave, watery feel as inspiration. I mean, this would be perfect place to do probably some sort of shader using noise to generate this image. But, you know, taking that and making it like, oh, it's touching this area might not be as easy. Noxiba says, that's because the distances you are looking at are literally millions of light year across. Yeah. So, not quite that. Of course, this is a fictional world, right? So, what I'm thinking of... I still have to think about this. Unseen Shooter says, have you ever worked on a 5M servers? A very specific name for the server. I'm not familiar. I can't say I'm familiar. 5M. Are these like services? 5M is a modding platform for Grand Theft Auto. Oh. I don't play Grand Theft Auto, so I'm not familiar. Sorry. GTRP runs lots of scripts and custom scripts. Sounds fun. Sorry. Whew. Sounds fun. I mean, I think I've seen people play GTA in a fun way like that, but I've never done it. Yeah, I mean, we're playing as slow motion. I just still need to know. It doesn't have to look realistic. I just wanted to do that watch that for some informing myself of what I could make it look like. Now I just have to think. Hold on. Let me think. I'm going to look at some shaders here. This is going to be hard, honestly. Oxybus says bless you as well. Thanks. Thanks for blessing me. Like, this could work if we could keep it contained, retained with clear outer edge. And if we can pivot it into this, like, what do you call it? Slanted thing. I mean, this looks more like a fog. I mean, obviously, I think we can change the speed. How about wave? I want to see something that is noise related, and something might be like unexpected. This is pretty cool. I mean, this is 3D, but we could use the same math. Vaporwave is kind of cool, but that's not us. Noxybus says it has to start small and grow. It's the mother of all explosion after all. Yeah. I mean, once again, it really depends on the gameplay. It doesn't have to like do that same thing. I mean, it will be important. I do think that the final version of the game, like graphically representing it appropriately, is probably important. This is a little bit too smooth, isn't it? Show me. This one doesn't really seem like an animation. I mean, almost this might read better. This one, right? Also, why is it in a 3D space, though? You know, I'll try it out. Ooh. This could work, too. If I mix this with some animation. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. But that means I have to slant it. That means I actually need to understand the shader. Zephyros. Xephyros? I don't know how to actually say your name, but thanks for the follow either way. You know what? I'll try it. I'll try to transport it and see what that does for us. Shall we? So, we're going to come over here real quick. And then we'll add some meaningless canvas node. So I can't kind of visually see it. And then we'll add a new shader. Let's add it under... That's technically still combat, but maybe it's under UI. Combat action. Configuration crew pieces. Sprite station test. You know what? I'll just keep it here. and say test ring shader. And then put this out. The color, okay, that's fine. I don't know why it's expected valid type hint after colon. Oh, why not? Does it have to be vec4? Is it because it has a default value on it? Hint color? Oh, they changed to source color. That's right. Oops. So it's actually source color now. There you go. Let's see what this all looks like, shall we? Let's make it so that maybe change the type to color rect so that we can actually have some size here. Then layout, let's say custom image size is 100 by 100 for now. There it is. There's an orange ring. Let's see what we can change here. Radius, okay. So we can animate the radius. There's no slant, it seems. And then we can do that. Brightness. So we can go like this for the animation. Angular speed. Oh, well, it's not really doing the, oh, noise. Okay. Let's create a fast noise here. Generate noise. I don't know what the color ramp is going to do. Normalize. I don't know what noise type. The connection seems a little bit goofy though. That doesn't really blend. It's pretty cool. Right? Okay. Wow. I mean, it has some issues, but it's not something we can't manage. This line is kind of annoying for me, though. I think it's okay. It's because noise is wrapping around and it's not fitting end to end nicely. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's starting to show. Okay, if I make this spot a little empty, it seems like it's a little bit better. Whatever, it's okay. Okay. Um, you know what? I shouldn't worry too much about it, right? Oops. I mean, it looks cool. All right. And then I don't know if I can. It does rotate. What happens? That's just offset. You can't skew this, can you? I mean, the transform might work on it. Can I skew this? Without using the shader information? Ring of power. I just want to see if I can do something. Transform 2D, yes, yes, yes. Transform, rotation scale, skew. It has a skew. I can get skew. Can I set skew? Or is this something that I have to do in the beginning? Freddy, hey Freddy. Welcome, welcome. We got 2 Freddys now, I think. Good evening from the UK, it seems. We're trying to look at and create some new map, new combat. We're trying to add some explosive, starry elements to it. All right, I'm going to see if this transform thing can actually work or not. So let's say I do this, right? And then I go skew. But this is a getting the skew. So if I say, hey, transform. Can I set transform? Transform. Draw, set transform. Can I do that? Sets a custom local transform for the drawing via components. Draw set sets a custom local transform for drawing via matrix. Anything drawn afterwards will be transformed by this. That might work. I just want to see it. Draw transform equals. Can I do that? No. I want to see. Returns a transform matrix of this canvas item. Right. Is that the only thing? Viewport and canvas transform. Draw mesh. Draw set transform. Draw set transform matrix. Sets a custom local transform for drawing via matrix. Okay. I'm going to have to look at this one. Method matrix transform demo. Time for some documentation reading. Oh, this is in 3D. In both 2D and 3D. Okay. In 2D, red, green lines represent da-da-da. Well, it's just a project. That's not really going to help him, is it? Well, we'll see. Let's hope for the best. So we'll go over here and say draw transform, draw set transform. We'll create a transform 2D of 1. What are some options? X-axis, we'll do it 0, 0. Scale, oh, hold on. Float will be rotation 0. Scale 1 for now. And then the skew, let's do like, I don't know, something odd. And then position as 0, 0. And then tool. So close all of this. And then I'll open navigation combat again here. Drawing is only allowed in draw. Okay. I have a feeling it's not going to work, but we'll try anyways. Because it seems like that transform effect only takes effect on the drawn objects. Nothing else. Yeah. So I think I need to manually skew this at the end. So let's detach. Seven close. Guess GT shader. Script was bring a power script. We're gonna delete this real quick. I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, but it does seem like we need to add some skew logic onto the material. Test our knowledge. Can't be that hard. Let's see. Noxibo says, I went from 2 errors to 7 errors. Gonna call it a night before it gets even worse. What? You need error for every single font in your, or every single letter in your code. That's when you stop. No, just kidding. It's understandable. All right, so we got the noise here. The skew, I suppose the skew of the circle. I mean, there's a math for it. I don't think I have to figure it out. Let's see. Shader, Godot, shader, skew image. Perspective skew. Yeah. Everything is already solved. I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool if I had to figure it out, but let's see. On the fragment, it takes some values here and it does that. Let me see if there's a better one. Skew. Oh, we got the warp skew. Undertale. What is that? Like, I mean, what's the skew? Not really skewing. There's a cool black hole here. Black hole shader. Do we have to credit these? Uh-huh. God ray. Cast is kind of skew. Oh, this is perspective skew. I think that might work. Depending on the configuration. What does it take? FOV, call, okay. Perhaps. Let's see. So what we need to copy and paste here. So we need, this already has a fragment information. So we're just gonna make sure we do this appropriately. Basically, we got the camera FOV information, we got the pi information, and at the end, before assigning the color itself, whatever it would have been, we're gonna shift it over, I think. Hopefully that'll work. It's like a 2-pass type of thing. I don't know what the vertex thing does. Cursor rotation matrix. We don't need to redefine this at all. All right. So over here, color, instead of grabbing texture, UV plus 0.5. I think wherever we're using UV here, we're going to shift the UV. So whenever... Okay. So we're taking UV and deciding what the color of that area is. And then the skew logic is changing which UV we're looking at, I think. So for any resulting UV... I don't know what this whole step situation is. For alpha? Well, what do you need to do that for anyways? This whole like UV plus 0.5, I think. Is what we use. Skew UV. And so whenever I see big UV here, I do that. I think. Expects, yeah. Like so. Hopefully. The shader parameter. Okay, FOV's okay. Oh, hey, yo. I barely understood what I was doing, but it worked. Yes. I love when things work without me understanding anything. Oh my gosh. This looks pretty cool. Now, if it's huge, what does that look like? So if I make it big. Voice says, indeed, such a good feeling. Yeah, exactly. I love it. All right, we're going to make it even brighter. I mean, this looks pretty epic. Does feel a little bit too big, though. So, like, this maybe... What if the radius starts right here? So that you can actually see it get bigger and bigger. Voice says, what's that? This is supposed to be kind of like the indicator for what would you call this? Exploding star. Yeah, like that. Though I would say, I guess this doesn't really... I almost feel like this needs to move in slowly as opposed to expanding. I don't know. I mean, clearly it still needs... like, have it go like that. maybe it won't work. But I think there's some sense of urgency here. Let's take a look. I want to see what it looks like on the map. Oops. Oh, it went from the beginning. Cat. Oh. Oh, nothing? Broke, but it's frozen. That's great. Interesting. Is it because of this? Oh, wait. I started the wrong one. That's why. Hold on. There you go. This one. Turn this on. Let's take a look. There, some stars are not even connected. We're gonna have to fix that. Hey! I mean, look. That's something. Not quite, but it's something. We can make it so that I suppose the mechanic is this swirling thing moving around. How about that? I'm not sure how I'm going to make it detected. I might... Yeah, it looks good. Could be a little goofy, but... Yeah, okay. Well, I found something that could work. So the difficulty now is to be like, okay, well, how much space, like this correlation between the size and parameter of these things versus where it aligns on the tile, and then like giving that animation. Maybe we'll have to put down like this like red overlay where this is impacting. Only problem with this one though is that it's assigned a size, meaning this, in order to make it bigger, you either have to make this whole thing bigger. But if you do that, you get this effect. Otherwise, you got to do something like this. But then you don't get to see the center of it, where you just simply see, oh, it starts from small radius, like so. And then it gets big like that. But then the center is still filled in. So if I do it like this, maybe then I can go like this as they get big, like that. But the size increments gets a little tricky. Because if I want like, oh, I want it to impact one layer at a time. Like I need to actually do one of these things. It's a little bit hard. Where voice says, could you let the grid line warp at its edge or the direction it's swirling in? Ooh. Good idea. I'm sure I can. I don't know how to do it right now. Very cool. We'll figure it out. I'm sure something will come to me. But as of right now, I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Like, I don't know how it's going to work yet. Voice says, no need to rush. All good things come in time. Yeah, exactly. All right, you know what? I'm going to call it early today because I'm kind of low energy in general. And I do have actually, I need to write a script. I got my other sponsor. Yeah, I'm hustling here. I got my other sponsorship video that I need to make. So before the October is done. So a little bit in a rush. Well, thanks for watching. Did we achieve what we said we would? We did FTL. We got a little bit of start on the other stuff, so that's something. Hey, for 2 hours work, I think this is pretty well done. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Once again, if you are watching me, don't forget to join Discord. What else? Yeah, I mean, that's it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have jury duty tomorrow, so who knows if I'll be here on Wednesday. I'll let you know on Discord. All right. Sounds great. I'll take you to Covino, I think. Yeah. Let's go. Boom. All right, let's get this started here. Voice says, thanks for the stream, as good night, farmers. Get something to eat. Yeah, exactly. I gotta get some food. All right, bye. See you later. And then I suppose YouTube is a goodbye too. I probably should turn this off because that's
This is the exit. This is where the player starts.
all right.